So the car was fucking totaled. They give her morphine to get her out of the car because she had her pelvis was all fucked up. She spent 5 days being stabilized at a hospital. Then she had to go down to Russia.
What is it, raining outside?
No.
Went down there Saturday night. You know, we're talking to the girl. Nothing really happened with me, but he got lucky. So I was pissed. I said, all right, we're leaving. Man, you get some sleep, man. Okay. So I took a nap. I woke up 8 hours later. It's now 5 o'clock in the morning. And I said, dude, let's go. So we left, took our time. And then he says, well, what's this thing got in it? You really want to know what it's got in it? Okay. I said, put the seatbelt on. Mind you, I had 4-point restraints in it. I just got to tell you. So he puts on the 4-point restraints, and we take off. I hit $160 in less than 4 seconds. You know, a little exaggeration there, but it got there quickly. So faster. I'm like, I'm not even a half pedal. Okay. So I hit it. But yeah, I was doing 180 mile an hour on State Road 55 in New Jersey. Well, there was 6 state troopers at a little spot. They sit and have their coffee and donuts. So I fly past them. And I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. Because all it was is a white blur. So I fly past them. So I'm like, okay, I need to slow down. All it was is a white blur. So
that's my life.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah. So we keep going, and I slow down, and a deer runs out in front of me.
Oh!
So I avoid the deer, lost control, spun backwards, and I ripped the brake lines and the gas lines out from under the car. Headed sideways across the road, hit 3 trees doing 120 mile an hour. The engine was halfway inside the car. My head imprint was in the windshield. The T-tops exploded. All 4 tires, 3 out of 4 tires popped off the car. The car went from Camaro to Honda. And we had our seatbelts on. So I climbed out through the T-tops. I cut my hands open. I had glass going into hitting the bone in my hand. I ripped the door off. Grabbed my friend, dragged him out, lay him on the ground, and I looked at the car and I'm like, oh, I'm fucked. So my friend was bleeding out. A piece of metal punctured his kidney. So he's laying there bleeding. Oh yeah, he's laying there bleeding. So and it's a small slit. I had crazy glue in my glove box. Well, I found it. I put crazy glue on it to seal the wound.
Oh,
So
jeez.
next thing you know, here comes all 6 state troopers. Mind you, there's 2 troopers per car. So they pull up, ambulance pulls up, and they get me, and I collapse. So they get me on a gurney, they put me into the ambulance, they put my friend in the ambulance. We were right next to each other, and the police officer, state trooper, says, "Oh, what happened?" I told him. He goes, "Did you know there's no deer in this area?" Really? Now, if there's no deer in the area, why did they name it Elk Township? So, a couple months later, I go to court. I'm still on crutches. I walk in, or hobble in, and the really bad part about it is the judge used to drink with my uncle. My uncle had passed away from alcoholism, and he didn't realize it was me until he saw my mother. Oh yeah. So he says, $275 fine, 6 months suspended license. So that makes it a year and a month.
Yeah.
So I asked the judge. I said, "Your Honor, may I ask you a question?" He says, "Does it pertain to this case?" I said, "Yes, Your Honor." And he goes, "Well, what do you want to say?" I said, "Where did that picture behind you come from?" He goes, "Right here in Elk Township." Why? I was like, "Mind you, the picture is a 15-point buck." So I told him, the state trooper told me, Your Honor, that there are no deer in this area. He says, "Is the state trooper an idiot?" I said, "I don't know, Your Honor. You might want to ask him. He's standing over there."
Nice. My first car was a 1986 Cutlass Sierra ES. It had it was stick shift. It had the Camaro. Remember the Camaros at 86 had that big heavy duty 6-cylinder. You know, that fast ass 6-cylinder. Same one.
Yeah.
And so my aunt gave it to me. So I fixed it all up, man. This thing fucking would haul ass. I mean, I'd drop it in the first, second, third, I'd be gone. I would smoke Corvettes off the line in this thing. So I was working as a plumber. I was working at a Fort Sheridan military base up north here in Chicago, and I was Great Lake. It's right Great Lakes Naval Base. It's not far from there. So my buddy's a Chicago cop, and he was coming with me because I had to go drop off my security stuff because I had to drop off security clearance stuff to be able to drive my car on the base. So we're on 294, 94 north, and I'm fucking hammering it because I'm running late. And my friend Jerry's sitting next to me. He's like, "Man, you got 35 minutes to get there. Man, this 55-mile-an-hour shit's not gonna cut it." So I fucking put the hammer down. Had it in fourth, fucking hammer down. I was ripping. So the one toll plaza, they had a toll plaza there. I slowed down to the toll plaza, peeled out of the toll plaza, and then he goes, "Uh-oh." He goes, there's 3 cops back there. I see the lights. I think they're coming for you because you're speeding. He goes, "Just pull over." So up at the next entrance, I pulled over. I stopped the car, and sure enough, 2 squad cars come behind me, and one pulled in front of me, one pulled behind me, and they asked me to step out of the car. My friend Jerry got out. He showed him his CPD badge, and they're talking, blah blah blah. And so he comes up to me. He goes, and the union that I was with at the time was a very powerful union. We donated a lot to the state police. So they saw my union card, they saw my lawyer card. They're like, "Yeah, well, if we give him a speeding ticket, he's going to get out of it." So he comes up to me, he goes, "Do you know how fast you were going when you went into the toll plaza?" I said, "I have no idea." He goes, "Why don't you have any idea?" I said, "Speedometer only went to 85. Apparently, when I was going into the toll plaza, I was doing 120.
Oh, nice.
When I left the toll plaza, I was doing 90.
Oh God.
He goes, if you wouldn't have pulled over, we probably wouldn't have caught you. He goes, "I didn't get your license plate number." I'm like, son of a bitch. So he goes, "I'm going to run your insurance. I'm going to run your license." He goes, "If you have anything on this thing, a ticket, anything," he goes, "you better tell me now, because if it comes back clean, I'm going to let you go with a warning." I go, "If it happens again, you're fucked." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "The only 2 reasons why you're not going right now is because of the union you're in and your buddy right there, the cop." He goes, "If it wasn't for those 2 things," he goes, "you'd be going to jail." I'm like, "Okay." So they sit there. I sit there, I get in the car, 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass. I'm like, man, I got 15 minutes to get there. And lucky for it was about 10 minutes down the road.
Hey, Dorian,
Fucking, he gives me my license back. He goes,
Yeah,
get
I
out
got
of
it.
here. He goes, get out of here. I said, I got to get to the Great Lakes base because I got a first security check. He goes, just keep it under 60. They both take off. Back with 80. I got there just in time to fucking submit my shit for the security check.
Oh, I have a story to tell you. You're going to like this one. When I moved to Florida in 95 from New Jersey, I met my ex-girlfriend. Last year they made that body style. So I'm like, okay. Now she let everybody and their grandkids drive this car, so threw a rod. I was like, okay. So I went looking for motors. Well, I finally found this motor sitting in the front guy's yard, underneath a blanket or a tarp. I pulled the tarp. I looked at it. I said, "What do you want for it?" He goes, "I want 1,000." I said, "Well, due to all the rust and everything, I'll give you 400." And we haggled back and forth. He finally agreed to 400. I gave it to him. Took it to the shop. Sandblasted all the rust off. It got it cleaned up. Opened it up. The bitch was clean in the inside. You could eat out of it.
Okay.
So I took it apart. I bored it out 60 over. I dropped, bigger lifter, high performance valve, or bigger valves, bigger pistons, all in the yards. Full size racing cam, Headman headers. Let's see, a 3-stage nitrous system. A few other things. I blueprinted the motor. And I took it to Sunshine Speedway in Florida. I did 4.5 and a quarter mile without nitrous.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there and everything, and they said, we want to introduce you to somebody. I'm like, okay. They took me up to the tower where they do, all this, they operate all the speed equipment and everything. And they introduce you, this is the guy we want to introduce you to. This is the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. when he was doing Budweiser products. The crew chief's talking to me and everything, and he says, let me take a look at the motor. I said, okay. So I popped the hood, I moved the pins, popped the hood, and he goes, what's so special about this motor where you do 4.5 and a quarter? So I told him. He goes, you want to build motors for me?
Nice.
And I turned them down.
Oh.
And that would have been a really good job.
Yeah, you know how much money you would have made?
The most famous, though,
stupid.
and how I got the name Sped Racer when I was younger, Sped Special Education Racer.
Oh, God.
There was... Downtown Chicago used to have midnight shows, and you used to see all kinds of crazy movies, like Jackie Chan movies, John Woo movies, stuff like that. So the one night me and my buddy go down there, and it's like, we can't find parking anywhere, and the movie's going to start in like 5 minutes. We're like, son of a bitch. So it was kind of slippery out, rained and stuff, and it was cold. And so he's like, there's a parking spot over there, but you got to go all the way down to the end of the block. And fuck it, you're not going to make that spot over there. I said, fuck you, we're going to make this. I fucking tromped the gas, whipped the wheel, parking brake, beep, perfectly slid right between the two cars. The car hit the curb, it rocked, car almost went over, slammed back down, and said, let's go. I got out of the car. And he's like, and my Freddie's like, what the fuck was that?
Oh, sweet.
Hey, do you guys
I forgot to tell you. All right.
Me, you, Kenny, and Laszlo.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's go!
I don't mind sitting there shooting the shit, but I'm tired of waiting on Cruiser.
Let's go. Yeah, I don't have a lot of luck with cars.
Yeah, a friend of mine asked me, he goes, can you do the same thing with your Camaro to
That's my
a
turn.
Mustang? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. So I did the same thing, but I didn't put that much power into it.
And then my
So
wife,
the gift
So
a
was a
few years ago,
graduation gift to my son.
and then my wife a few years ago, she
So
fucking busted me for speeding. We had the GPS, we had the GPS in the car, and she hit the GPS, and you know how it tells you how fast you were going, top speed. It said 113 miles per hour on my car.
oh my God.
Goes, well, how fast were you going in the car the other day? I'm like, why? The GPS said top speed was 113 miles per hour. I'm like, you know, after we did, you know, got the stuff taken care of in the car, I stopped it down the tollway a little bit, and she's like, uh-huh.
Yeah. I did that Mustang, and after he graduated, he was told not to race it, and he did. And within seconds, he hit the Gandy Bridge doing 130 mile an hour. He died on impact. So I no longer rebuild engines the way I want them. I was responsible for that kid's death.
Yeah, that's something bit bad. Yeah, but I haven't had good luck with cars ever.
I've had pretty good luck. I'm driving a '89 F-150 straight six, the 4.9 liter, the one that really made a good motor.
Yeah, that's not a bad motor.
I'm still young. I don't have a car yet.
You don't have a car yet?
Still 12.
That's how.
Go steal one. All your kids your age. Go steal one. The kids your age do it all the time.
Yeah, my daughter about totaled our van.
Ugh.
What? I'm on air.
You want me in driver's sec too?
What I'm thinking about doing is buying after high school. I want to buy me a 67 to 68 Camaro, and then I'm gonna do some stuff to that thing. At least that's my plan. I hope I'll be able to do it.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Get yourself something cheaper. That's not gonna kill you on parts.
Nah, that's just the one thing I've been wanting. That was 5, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 5 or 6. I love them. Who names herself Dirt? This guy's username is Dirt. Pretty sad.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
Yeah, Camaros are expensive beasts.
Practice is over. It's a real fight.
Nothing is cheap on them.
Yeah, but they're beautiful.
Yeah, but my ex, she got mad at me because I had everything in her name for insurance reasons. And because it's cheaper in Florida with a woman. So I kept everything in her name. She took the car after I put like $55,000 to $60,000 worth into it. Because I gave a girl a ride home that needed one, and she took the car and sold it for $650.
Completing contracts, looting, eliminating
Hey,
targets.
do you guys want to try to go for the blueprints or no?
Yeah, let's go for the blueprints. I don't matter.
We can land here.
As long as I have fun, I don't care.
Yeah.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Enemy soldier incoming.
All right, I'm gonna go up to the
Enemy
executive
team is
level
tracking
and
their
look.
position. Enemy
I'm gonna
UAV
go
overhead.
down to the parking garage and look.
Now you know that the EL, if you get the EL card, you got to come up here. The CL is the concourse level, and then the PL is the parking level.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Enemy soldier incoming.